So hello and welcome to the latest edition of Mackenzie-Hodge TV, live from Habitat Studios in Manchester. I'm Dave Sweetmore. We've got a full studio audience. And of course, you for Manchester's original and best rock and roll TV. And as always, we've got a mega show lined up for you tonight. Now, if you did look at the original billing, you would have seen that Idyllic were on the lineup tonight. Due to illness, sadly, they can't make it, but we've got a brilliant band stepping in instead. They're called Remain Blank. They are from Bolton, and they're going to be here in a bit as well. We've got the amazing Sia Raw and band playing live as well. And I'm going to be in conversation with Mackenzie-Hodge, who's got a brand new book out called Delirium, Diaries, and Paul Ripley from Fab Radio. And of course, our legendary spoken word artist Keith's brother will be here with a very special guest as well. Wherever you're watching this from, please do share it. Follow us on social media. Let's get it out and about. We've been going a long time now. Manchester's original grassroots rock and roll TV. And to start this episode, it's a real pleasure to welcome our house band, The Information Highway.
The sun lights up your face, and the morning rain takes a place. Live every day, live it like your last. Can you see it now? We'll never late. 'Cause all my life I'll carry on, pushing to be the one. Can you tell me now is it me? And give me something I can see. No, no, no. Please, just let me be the one you see. I try my hardest just every day. Just let me be there to stay. It's a sorry state, just how I feel when you realize that no one cares. I wanna exit the show. I lost my way to go. you're silver, but you're shining in a sea of gold.
Yes, what a way to start the Information Highway, our resident band on Mancunia TV. Big thank you as always. All the bands you watch on Mancunia TV, please do follow them on social media and support them because it is dead important we do that. A big thank you once again, the Information Highway. For the last 10 years, for the last decade, it's safe to say that Fab Radio has been a massive part of the music and entertainment world around Manchester and surrounding areas, and of course all around the world. But it is based here in Manchester, and I am delighted to say that joining us on Mancunia TV tonight is the man who started it, the man behind it all. Let's hear it for Paul Ripley.
Too kind, too kind.
You like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Paul, you've done an amazing amount of things for music and, you know, creativity in Greater Manchester. And, of course, it goes all around the world now, Fab Radio. But let's go right back to the beginning. As you celebrate your 10th anniversary, where did it all begin? Where did the idea come from?
It came, 10 years ago, it came from a show called Starburst Magazine, which is made in Manchester, another independent, which isn't talked about. I know, it came from there. They wanted me to set up a station for their show. And while I was doing it, let's set up a full station. So we built a station out of a TARDIS. So it's a TARDIS, and you can walk in it, it's hot and sweaty, but it's a TARDIS. And me and a guy called Steve Wilson, who's over there, built the thing inside. And it was, we wanted to do something different. You think of Manchester, you think of, you know, Stone Roses, Happy Mondays, Oasis. And we thought, well, what can we do that's different? For example, I love Pink Floyd, but I can't listen to Dark Side of the Moon anymore. It just, it does me head in. So I didn't want to play any of that. I wanted to give bands an opportunity to just be there, a platform.
Starting doing that is an amazing idea and a brilliant concept, but it can't have been cheap to do. Where did the funding come from for it?
Mike Royce, Fab Cafe. You know, it's just, it paid for it all. But to just add to that as well, what I found with the Manchester music scene, they didn't support bands besides the obvious. So like bands like The Freshers or Pure Essence, they weren't supported. And the idea was that you can do an older band, play something not obvious.
So that was the aim, to support new music, which is, of course, what we do and a lot of people do now.
It's Manchester stuff.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Where did you do it from originally? Where was the first base for Fab Radio?
There, where it is now.
Which is?
Above the bank on Portland Street.
So you've been there for 10 years and that's still where it is. I've been a couple of times over the years and it is great. And of course, so when you get the idea to do this amazing station supporting bands, and where did you find out how to, where to put it on the platform? Because of course, online and streaming wasn't as big 10 years ago as what it is now.
No, and I'd set up the first online station in Manchester 18 years ago with James Stanage. Remember James?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I didn't like the way that was going. He went in a way which was a bit weird for me. So when I got asked to do the Fab Radio, I jumped at it.
Over the years on Fab Radio, just some of the people you've had on, like you say, James Stanage, Phil Beckett, Chris Seaver, of course, Frank Sidebottom, Mike Joyce, Phil Wood, Dave Fran. You've had loads of people around Manchester, and our very own Anton Pell, who's just given us the nod there as well. Your background came from doing Manchester Radio Online. When you set that up, you probably had a lot of support from the local bands. What were the challenges setting it up, though, getting it online?
Fab Radio, we're talking about now. The challenges are get listeners. How do you get listeners? The competitions, from Spotify, from all the rest of it. And I'm a big radio fan. I go to bed every night listening to the radio. But in my head, you can listen to Spotify, but there's nothing human there. There's no soul there. So good presenters who are local, or for example, we do a show from Japan, and it plays punk, Japanese punk, Japanese funk. It's weird, but it's wonderful, and that you're dragged into that world.
You say that obviously the main challenge was getting people to listen.
Yeah.
And how did you get people to find out about Fab Radio? Because it was the very early days of social media.
Social media.
Even then?
Even then, yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, when we launched, on the 14th of December, it was, who was listening? My mum. I mean, that was it. Who was there? I mean, so it's been hard for 10 years. It's been up and it's been down, but it's been amazing. And now, like I should say at the time as well, a certain producer from Media City said to me, "Your last 6 months." So, fuck you.
And here you are now. Grassroots, you see. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
What would you say? I mean, it's probably quite a difficult question because Fab Radio, I said it at the beginning and I mean it, it is like a pretty staple fixture now. What would you say the high points have been of Fab Radio over the last decade?
Well, our website got taken down near as damn it by, we had a guy doing a Korean show, and he had a band who was hot there, and they were making their first appearance on the radio on our station. It was weird. I mean, we had so many listeners. The website crashed. It was just, incredible. But we've helped launch loads of bands and presenters who've moved on to do stuff, which is just as good.
You yourself as a presenter, am I right in thinking you still present a show on there? Yeah. Tell us about your show, what you present.
Well, I've got a new show which goes out on Fab, and it goes out on an American station called Ripman and Her. And it's a girl from Burnley, and the idea is I sort of take the mickey out of Burnley and her choices. But in the end, she wins, obviously, like the choices. But that does. I mean, it's repeated now on the American station. It's doing so well. And it's a Manchester thing, isn't it?
Tell us about some of the music you play on that show.
Oh, all sorts, you name it. From local bands to, I don't know, to Pink Floyd. But perhaps not from Dark Side of the Moon.
What you've done over the last decade with Fab Radio, supporting new bands and new music, is amazing. But you've recently set up your own PR company as well called Atomic. Tell us a little bit about
that. Atomic is, I used to manage bands and used to pay money to pluggers. And do you get much return? Not really. So I thought, there's got to be more to it than this. So the idea is to put your heart and soul into it and try your best. You're not just bands are treated like shit. They are, really. So take a band and do your absolute best for them. I mean, but only take bands that you can work with, not bands that, just anybody can send you a track. Oh yeah, I'll play it for you. But in reality, it's rubbish, so why play it? Give them help and support. But in plugging wise, as you know, on radio stations, you'll only accept tracks that are good. So you accept a good track, then try your best. It's so hard at the moment.
You must have noticed over the years, though, that the quality of tracks you get at Fab Radio has changed so much. At one time, you could... Yeah, that's what I mean. At one time, you'd get a track sent by a band and you could tell whether it had been done in a studio or at home. Yeah. You can't tell the difference now, really, can you? It's amazing what can be done.
To a level, I think you can. I really still do think you can. But being done at home is it's not detrimental in a way. It's just different. And sometimes different is cool as well.
You're busy with Fab Radio, you're busy with Atomic doing your PR and plug-in, but that's not busy enough for yourself, Paul Ripley. You've got a brand new podcast coming out as well called Sound Judgment.
The idea of this was I got a hold of, well, many people, but professionals in the industry, people you don't think of, like the guy from Virgin Records, Virgin Media. He's come on board to help us on the podcast. And the idea is to give bands what to do. You're in a band, you've rehearsed, what do you do next? And so the idea has got experts throughout it, giving advice in this different world that we live in. So we can look back at things how it used to be, and also how it is now, and hopefully help them on the way.
When will the podcast be out, and how often can we listen to it?
It's 12 episodes. Be out end of March.
So that's something to look forward to as well. With the podcast, with the PR company, and of course at the moment you're celebrating 10 years of Fab Radio. What's the plans for the future? What does the future hold for Fab Radio?
I don't know. Retirement, probably.
You're never retiring. I think we all know that.
I don't know. We're looking around. There should be more female presenters. That's one. There's not enough female presenters. There's not enough shows and stations that playlist local bands. I mean, you do a sterling job. I know. I listened to your show with where is she around? She disappeared. Anyway, you do an amazing show on Tameside, and there's not enough female presenters coming on board. There's not enough stations playing local music, but playlisting on rotation, not specialist shows. So my purpose in life is to change local radio.
What you do and what we do here at Mancunia TV is very...
Mancunia TV, 6 years. My God. I mean, and the place is amazing.
And do you know what? A lot of other people have come and tried this, and it's not lasted, can I just say? Mancunia TV is still here,
Yeah. I mean, how many Miss Manchester have you known over the last 10 years? Yeah. Every new promoter every year who thinks he's Mr. Manchester, don't they? Tony Wilson. And Tony Wilson, and nothing about that. Not everything that came out of the factory was good. A lot of it was rubbish. That's the truth. So we talk about it as though, oh, blimey. But let's look at today, look at now.
What you do, as we were saying with Fab Radio and yourself, Paul Ripley, and Mancunia TV, is very grassroots. And what you've just said there is we need more female presenters, more diversity, stuff like that. There might be people watching Mancunia TV thinking, I'd like to get involved with that. I'd like to help out more. If they want to get in touch with you and get some advice, maybe even help out with Fab Radio, how do they do that? What's the best place to look?
Just email in studio@fabradiointernational.com or get us on Facebook.
studio@fabradiointernational.com, or of course Fab Radio as well on all of the usual social media channels. That's where you can find you as well if people want to get in touch with you. I think everyone in here knows you. I think most people in the Manchester music scene know you. What you've done for grassroots creativity and music over the years, yourself as a person and with Fab Radio as well, has been absolutely amazing. And long may it continue. And thank you for joining us tonight. Paul Ripley.
Thank you. Mister.
You are watching Mancunia TV from Habitat Studios in Manchester. Some amazing music coming up later on from Sia Raw. You may have noticed on the lineup for today, there was a band called Idyllic meant to be playing. Sadly, on the day we're recording this, one of the band members is ill. We wish them all the best and get well soon, but we've got a brilliant band filling in instead. All the way from Bolton, Mancunia, will you please welcome Remain Blank.
Mancunia TV, you should have seen the other guy.
show. Woo! You catch me with the last train, and you only have yourself to blame. One ticket for the last train. I'm on the hill and I'm in the rain. Where you met him, it won't fix you by living in sin. I'm a raven to the priest as the priest to the dove. I lost my faith, I don't pray up above. Why don't you love me, why can't you be mine? While you promised me, darling, that we would be fine. Back to the street where you met him, it won't fix you by living in sin. And the note that you're sad on the hill, well the hill looks just fine. Why won't you be mine? How would you be with you, sleep with you, eat with you? But you know, darling, he'll never come back to you. Oh dude, you're coming back with me tonight. You're asking why I'm so uptight. Why I'm uptight. You should have seen the other guy. Is this what you have been waiting for? Then and stick you up the floor. Why, yeah, you're so eager at the door. When it comes to me, you're not so sure. Woo! You catch me with the last train, and you only have yourself to blame. Woo! One ticket for the last train. I'm on the hill and Thank you. First of all, thank you for Mancunian TV for having us. It was very, very, very last minute. So I honestly appreciate you giving us a chance to play a couple of songs. That was called You Should Have Seen the Other Guy. We've got another one for you. It was our first single. It's called Plastic Hooligans. That was good though. so mine, it's so funny, you're all busted. What you gonna do? You're gonna make the cut. You just stay put and keep your mouth shut. Know your game, man, and know how to play. I can make her mine anyway. Let me get it out. She's so mine, it's so funny, you're all busted. She's so mine, it's so funny, you're all busted.
You are watching Mancunian TV from Habitat Studios. Now, our next guest tonight, you may recognise him because he's wrote children's books. He was also the drummer in the brilliant Manchester band Inigo for a long, long time. We've got him here tonight because he's actually released a book of his own called Delirium, Diaries, which is available now, and he's here to tell us all about it. Will you please make some noise for Pete Mackenzie-Hodge? Hi, mate. How you doing? All right.
See ya.
Good to see you. It's been a while. You're with us now. So, obviously, you've done loads of great stuff. You were in Inigo for a long time. You've created children's books. But now you've brought out a book of your own called Delirium Diaries, which is pretty much a bit of a life story about your journey as well. First of all, why have you decided to bring this book out now?
Yeah, basically, Delirium Diaries came about as a healing process, really. I was really, really ill in 2020. I had double pneumonia and sepsis, and I was put in an induced coma in Wythenshawe Hospital. I was there for 24 days in a very bad condition, and I had some very trippy dreams with all the drugs that I was put under, and then I kind of like needed to heal my brain, put the jigsaw pieces back together. So I started writing some notes in my iPhone, and then I went on holiday up to the Lake District with my missus, and we bumped into Mr. Steve Coogan, and I was like, oh,
as you do.
Yeah, as you do. And I didn't believe my wife when she said, Alan Partridge is sat over there. I was like, no, he's not. No, fuck off. He's not over there. I stood up and went to the toilet. He was like, oh my God, it's Steve Coogan. We ended up chatting to him for about 20 minutes, and he said, you need to write a book about what you've been through. And without Steve Coogan's advice, Delirium Diaries would never have come about, you know. So
Is writing a book something you'd thought about before, or was it purely because of that conversation?
it was purely because of that conversation, really. Like, I've been a drummer, as you say, for like about 20 years, and I had to retire from drumming because my hearing and my tinnitus was so bad. So I've started to scratch the creative itch elsewhere as a writer now, and Delirium Diaries, you know, it's healed me, and hopefully other people can relate to it and resonate. It can resonate with people who've been through similar journeys as well. So.
You say similar journeys. You've been on one hell of a journey, really. Like you say, it is about your life journey. Now you've come through it. You've already mentioned, you know, the double pneumonia. There's bone cancer. There's tinnitus. You've been through an amazing. I don't really know what to call it. It's amazing what you've been through, and you have put it all in this book, kind of thing. The amount of stuff you've had thrown at you, if you don't mind me putting it like that, how do you overcome all of them illnesses and sit here now writing a book, being as strong as you are?
I think the thing to remember for me is just that, like, every day you wake up. We all have bad days. I still have bad days, but every day's you've got to make the most of it. And I've survived it, and I'm here with my daughter and my wife still. And you know, that nearly got taken away from me. I had a 50-50 chance of survival with the bone cancer, and then I didn't know, obviously, that the COVID, you know, the pneumonia and sepsis was going to happen. And you know, thankfully I pulled through that. You know. So.
A lot of the stories about the illnesses you talk about are in this book, so we're not going to go into them too much now. You talk about a lot of things, but one of the things you do talk about, I want to bring up, is tinnitus. And of course, being a drummer in an iconic Manchester band in Ego, how much of an effect did that have on your life, the fact that you got tinnitus and you had to leave a successful band? Yeah,
it was a major decision to make, because Inigo in my life, I'm a founding member of Inigo with Toby, who you know really well. Drumming was a passion of mine. It still is, and I kind of long for the day that they can cure tinnitus, so I can play drums again and sleep. I've got to, choose sleep over drumming, because it was kind of ruining my life a little bit at that time. So.
The optimism you have through it all is astonishing. It's absolutely amazing. As well as having all this thrown at you as well, the COVID-19 pandemic kicked in. Tell us how that affected you in your life and your illnesses.
Yeah, it was weird, the COVID pandemic, because we brought the LP out, so we pressed vinyl. As you know, the Inigo album came out, and we crowdfunded that. It was recorded at Gavin Monaghan's studio, Magic Garden Studios, and that was a major achievement for us. And we were hoping to do like a record launch at Yes, and obviously gigs got kind of binned off, and we were like, oh, what we're going to do for 2 years, and then obviously got really, really ill, and I nearly, died. And thankfully, I've pulled through it again, and life is as normal as it can be.
Do you know what? Listening to your story now and the book you've got, and the fact you sat here on Mancunian TV telling us you're a real inspiration, and what you've come through is amazing. How's life for you now?
Yeah, life is good now. So, like I say, my daughter, she's turning 5 tomorrow. So, when I wrote Delirium Diaries, I think she was 9 months old at the time. So it's taken a few years for the book to come out. And yeah, life is good. I've got 2 writing projects. I've got 2 new books on the way this year. One's a children's book, and one is something else, a bit more trauma porny, like Delirium Diaries. But the year after, hopefully I'll do something a bit more light-hearted.
Is that book, not the children's book, the other book you mentioned, is that going to be like a true-to-life thing, or is that more fiction?
Yeah, so the book that I'm working on this year is about my time suffering from bone cancer. All this sounds very, very dark, but there's a lot of comedy in there as well. It's not, there's gallows humour, there's lots of music, there's bits of football in there. It's not all like doom and gloom.
For people who are reading Delirium Diaries and the new book you're going to have coming out as well, what do you want people to get out of these books?
Yeah, I want people to hopefully think, well, we're lucky to be alive. Life's there to be celebrated, and be good to the people around you, be good to everybody. Enjoy what you enjoy your music, going out, being together as a community. We're only here 5 minutes, Dave, so you've got to make the most of it. So.
Do you know what, in nearly 7 years we've been doing Mancunian TV, we've met some real inspirational people, and I've got to say, you're right up there with the most inspirational. It's amazing what you've been through. You mentioned, you've got this Delirium Diaries book coming out, you've got another couple of books coming out as well. You were in Inigo a long time. I've got to ask the question, are you going to get back into music at all?
I'd love to. Like, I'm still in touch with the Inigo boys. We've got a brotherhood there, and I help out with backing vocals and acoustic stuff. And if they need my help with like design and direction and stuff, I'm always there. But hopefully, yeah, one day I'll be back behind the kit. You never know.
I'm hoping that the day you're back behind the kit, the first stop will be here at Mancunia TV. Yeah, is that all right?
I'd love that.
Delirium Diaries, tell us when it comes out and where people can pick a copy up from.
Yeah, so Delirium Diaries is available from pretty much all good bookshops. It's on Waterstones, Amazon, all the usual places. So yeah, if you fancy it, pick up a copy for under a tenner, and that'll help me as well. So.
Do you know what the support you're going to get for this book and the support that this book will give people as well is pretty amazing. It's an amazing story you've been through. One you wouldn't really wish on anyone, but you've had great times as well in music, something we're hopefully going to see you doing again sometime. You're a real inspirational person, and it has been so good having you on Mancunia TV. I wish you all the very, very best for the book. Delirium Diaries, it is out and available now. As Pete said, do pick a copy up, support him, and good luck with the books, and hopefully we'll see you back doing music again soon. But what a real inspirational person to have with us tonight on Mancunia TV. Will you please make some noise for Pete Mackenzie-Hodge?
Steve.
It is Mancunia TV. We are at Habitat Studios in Manchester. Live music a little bit later on from Sia Raw. If you're watching this and you're thinking, I'd love to be in the audience, you can be yourself. All you need to do is make sure you follow Mancunia TV on all the usual social media channels, and you'll find out exactly how you can be in the audience. It's an amazing audience tonight. We've got members of Black Grape in, we've got George Borofsky in, and we've got a brilliant studio audience. And you can be here at the end of March. Just follow the social media pages and all the details will be on there. Next up is a man who is without a doubt one of the nicest men in the world. He's our resident hero, spoken word legend, let me tell you. Please welcome Keith's brother.
Good evening. Welcome to the Poets' Corner. So tonight we have got, coming up, one of Wigan's finest exports, Mr. Dave Talty. Will be with us very shortly. But first, when I started writing many years ago, it was something that I did in total secret. I didn't want anyone to know. And it came from a bit of a fear of failure. I didn't want to be a subject of ridicule. This was something from a lack of confidence. So what happened was, I confided in a good friend of mine, Robert, and what he did, he was really supportive. He was really encouraging. He pushed me to do stuff what I wouldn't normally be confident doing. Anyway, sadly, a couple of years ago, he passed away. He's no longer with us. Roll back a couple of months ago, and his number come up on my phone. And I tried to ring him. So I phoned a mutual friend of ours. And I said, Dean, you're never going to guess what I've just done. Just tried ringing Robert up. And what followed was a really interesting conversation. He started telling me about how he was still struggling with events and what happened. And he also started telling me about this sort of secret relationship that they both had. They started doing this walking thing during lockdown. They used to get their Under Armour gear on and do this power walking thing up and down the parkway. And they used to have this thing where they used to share books together. They used to read stuff and then it was like a mini book club. Now, this doesn't sound unusual, but if you knew these two, this is the last thing on earth that you would believe that they were doing between the two of them. And it sort of inspired me a little bit to write something. And it was important that Dean was all right with this. So I wrote it, and I sent it over to him. And he phoned me up, and he said, yeah, it's really good, that piece, mate. But he said, we weren't gay. It was unusual, the fact that all the intimate stuff that he divulged to me, the only thing he was bothered about was that people might think he was gay. So this is the piece, and it's called Bloomsday. You'd meet at India House and the two of you'd walk and walk through sunbaked streets, past the peril of the peak and under the Mancunian Way, past where the Nile Club used to be, and Rob won't say it's where his dad used to DJ on a Friday night or where he met his mum. And you already knew it was where the riots started in 81, cause he told you a dozen times before. On lockdown forays down the Princess Road to Merseybank and back. They all thought you were gay. What if we are, you'd say? What's wrong with going for breakfast or meeting for a brew? It was stuff no one else you knew would do. It was none of their business. He'd been away about 4 years when you'd sorted up all the time, but the rattle was never happening on the outside, and the last time he left the way, he said he was never going back. And he never did. Could speak 3 languages. Spent his days reading McClavity and James Joyce, and talked to Ulysses in such a way it sounded like the greatest story ever told, and you'd even bought the book. You remember the Snot Green of Dublin Bay? But after the 3rd attempt, you give up. Couldn't be arsed with all that. Mortgage was almost paid and contracts due to exchange on the place in Lorette de Mar. And this year when you changed the car, the dealership said if you thought of going electric. So you did. For all free. The text said call us when you can. He was already out. Dean's 50th. Day 1 of 2 or maybe 3. Grown up stuff. So when he said he'd been having thoughts, made a plan, and you'd be better off without him, you couldn't be arsed with all that. So never message back. You remember these streets as empty when it was only you two here. Now there's speakerphone rants and delivery bags swinging from handlebars. A tattooed face as a double tape from the back of a 192. Ivy's mobs are keeping watch through watermelon flavour plumes. It's easy to lose someone in a crowd and wind up stood on your own. But you know whose dad used to DJ here on a Friday night? Because you've been here a dozen times before. Safe, man. It's what he'd always say. When you met, when you left, in shops or on a text. And he'd be laughing his head off if he ever knew. Lately he'd started saying the same thing too. And you say it's okay if it comes on top, because in the end it'll all come out in the wash. And you're gonna give Ulysses another go, because now you know it's just a story of someone lost. Try to find the way home. Thank you, cheers. Best poet in the world. Ugh. I'm gonna have that put on a t-shirt, I think. He said that now. MC Tune says that. Okay, thanks a lot, everyone. So, about a month ago, I was doing a gig in Liverpool. It's been great for me last couple of months. I've had like two, sometimes 3 a week since Christmas, so it's gone really well. And I did this particular gig, and it was at a skater shop. And I was talking to someone after, and this guy, we was having a conversation, and it turns out that we knew some of the same people. We both went to the same football matches many years ago and stuff. And it ended up, I didn't know till towards the end of the conversation, we actually followed each other on Instagram. So I thought, that's unusual, meeting someone in person. Normally just do online interaction and stuff. And he told me he was a poet, and I started looking, researching, and he had a line in one of his poems, and it said, "The smiling North Face assassin." And I just went, we're having him on, definitely. He'll do for us. So he's come all the way from Wigan. Please, can you make some noise for Mr. Dave Talty?
Good evening. It's all slice of life stuff. There's going to be about 5 or 6, but they're all quick fire stuff. The first one I'm going to read is a true story about when I was walking my dog. It's a story of humiliation and why you should never wave back at a buzz. It's titled Wounded. Slug slow morning rush hour traffic, a convoy of buzzes. Beaded condensation on windows, a knock, a wiping hand. Maybe a wave. I wave back. Bang, bang. The 2-finger hit man. Then the wanker hand gesture. A double whack. A smiling face appears. A silent smiling North Face assassin. I smile back. More windows wiped. More 2-fingered assassins. More wanker hand gestures. How much of a wanker can one man be? Then the parting shot, another knock. The top deck sniper. The knockout blow. The piece de resistance. The slaphead gesture. No comeback. Wounded pride. Off their ride into the distance. Buzzing E and R&B buzz assassins. Another balding scalp in their virtual trophy cabinet. Thank you. I've only been writing about just under a year, and this was only the third thing that I actually wrote, and I'm quite proud of it because I got it played on local BBC radio. I performed it at Preston Bus Station as part of Lancashire Fringe Festival. It's called Insane on the Lane. It's based on where I live. It's not really that insane, it's just insane rounds with lame, so it's called Insane on the Lane. Speeding cars taking off to Mars. Exhausted mums on chaotic school runs. The pharmacy queue regulars always in line for 9 come rain or shine. The twice-a-day dog walkers. The front gate non-stop talkers. A pilgrimage of charity shop bargain hunters seeking prey to flog on eBay. A learner driver struggling to parallel park. A tea-time drinker swaying home in the dark. Skinny Pete waiting for his weekly treat of chips and doner meat to be delivered by Just Eat. The ultraviolet light bedroom gardener sowing his seed. The pungent smell of northwest England's finest homegrown weed. Thank you. This one's about a character from Wigan. His name's Ted. It's not his real name, it's just a safeguard for me, that. His title's Steady Ted. Mid-morning buzz into town, there's never a frown when Ted hits the town. Ted's got false teeth plastered in yesterday's corned beef. Ted smokes an amber leaf roller. He's a broken northern solar. Keep the faith, the snake backache. Ted's in need of a new hit, but sadly doesn't qualify for PIP. Ted doesn't like the Bee Gees, but he loves the GGs. He's always got a tip, another losing betting slip. Forever captured in Mr. Ladbroke's vice-like grip. Those horses never run to form. In the general election, Ted voted reform. Ted reads the Sun. Ted gets upset when they call a burn cake a bum. Ted loses his shit over the colour of a flag on the collar of a football shirt. Ted's got a decaying Mercedes on his driveway. Ted's frothing at the mouth over the nationality of the England football coach. Ted loves a pint, but 8 pints deep, Ted's in need of sleep. He can't speak. His knees are weak. It's time for bed for our friend Ted, because 8 pints Ted ain't no longer steady. Thank you. This one was originally titled Club 1830, but I've expanded it and it's now Club 1540. But the scary thing is, I'm nearer to 70 than 40. And I'm still guilty of some of these things, but I've never sent a dick pic. I'm getting there in advance. Bitcoin, casino, high stakes rollers, spending the winnings on gold rat Range Rovers. Tattoo muscle mummies with toned six-pack tummies. Chill to the max on CBD gummies. Breeze block-headed lads with spirit-level fringes. No more gym steroids, just Botox syringes. Ivy's players in dirty white vans, clinging on to their Benidorm tans. The happy-go-lucky 3-day benders, the 3 for 100 dick pic senders. The lookalike Jeff Capes, smoking watermelon vapes, scouring charity shots for VHS tapes. Good Lucas, chisel chins, radiator grins, laser beards. Desperate Dans in car boot Ray-Bans, still scrounging fivers from Nans for 5% cans. Live, laugh, love ladies drinking cocktails from cans, OnlyFans, spray tans, Russian hair extensions, dermal fillers, chemical peels. £3.99 Boots meal deals. Dry robes, gym leggings tucked in Nike socks with Crocs, just do one. Lads in Reeboks with no socks, mix and match trackers with hands down the pants, why? The men in Under Armour, no Knights in shining armour. The men dressed in black, fear us, don't cheer us. Ankle tags, snap bags, snag Gucci man bags. 15-year-old dads who swap twocking for pushing tan sads. Thanks. This one's about unemployment. It's about being unemployed between 1984 and 1986. It's titled Never a Dull Day, in brackets on the dole. Apologies in advance to any Morrissey fans. I've seen a T-shirt out there, so I'm getting the apology in before I get it. The broken youth of Thatcher's schemes, recurring dystopian dull daydreams. Turn on, tune in, tuned into Pebble Mill at 1. Half the day already gone. Meaningful Gyro Day crusades, curated money-making raids, bastard fruit machine arcades. Unearthed blinding treasure, unforeseen afternoon pleasure. Stash magazine in a bramble bush. Razzle-dazzled self-imposed isolation. Single bed against the door. Starch stiff and Kleenex on the floor. Strategically planned secret dates. Sisters of mates. Mates working late. Football away days 200 miles away. A safe place. Breathing space. No stressing, undressing. Catch as if you can. Cans of special brew at 2:30. Turbulent days of afternoon haze, box bedroom disco, at full of wallow in self-pity. Pity Stephen Patrick Morrissey became a whopper. Thanks. I got cheered the other night in Salford when I read that. So I couldn't come from Wigan without a poem about pies. This is about the pitfalls of eating too many pies and taking too many recreational drugs. It's called Pies and Ease. Mitsubishi's chunky steak, cheese and onion, then bellyache. In moments of madness, I sometimes buy 2. I should save one for later, but I never do. For the second one, I always yearn, but double dropping makes me gurn. Then the finale, I never learn. Put your hands in the earth for some acid heartburn. Thank you. Thanks to everybody at Mancunian TV for this chance. Thanks a lot.
Brilliant. Please get your hands together one more time for Mr. Dave Talty. Thanks. Brilliant. Double dropping pies. That's the future, I think. Okay, listen, thanks everyone. We'll see you next month.
Try that again. Before we let you go, you were saying before if there's any spoken word poets out there that want to get involved, you'd love to hear from them.
Yeah, definitely. I'd never seen Dave perform, and it was only through seeing him on Instagram. So we had a conversation about it. So if there's anyone out there, you've seen what sort of people we have on. If you're a bit different, something a bit unusual, just get in touch. Georgina, Anton, anyone, just let us know. We'll see how you get on. Cheers.
Let's hear it for Keith's brother and Dave Talty as well. You have been watching Mancunian TV from Habitat Studios in Manchester, just near the Apollo. If you do want to be here at the end of March, you know what to do. Follow Mancunian TV on all the socials and find out exactly how you do that. A big thank you to all of our guests tonight. Thanks to MC Tunes for warming up the bar area, and a big thank you as well Yes, a big thank you as well to the Information Highway, Remain Blank, Paul Ripley, Pete Mackenzie-Hodge, Keith's brother Dave Talty, and of course all of our amazing team at Mancunian TV and the studio audience. Yes. It is time to finish with our final band for this episode. Please make some noise for the brilliant Sia Raw.
2 months gone, I've been walking the line, chasing shadows and killing time. Thought I was free, thought I could breathe, but your face, it cuts right through me. The room stood still when I caught your gaze, as I fire setting me ablaze. Yeah. 'Cause I was ready to leave the flame and the embers fade to black, but your eyes called out my name and the years came rushing back. And I was ready to break these chains, tell you ghost away from my soul. You're the crack in my control, and I'm spinning in the undertow, lost in the pull of you. The world is spinning, but I'm standing still, caught in a wreck of a love so real. You smile like you knew I caved, like you wrote my lines from the cradle to the grave. I swore I buried this hurt for good, but you pulled me back like I knew you would. Your eyes, they whisper what words can't say. I'm a prisoner, I cannot turn away. The way you look, it floods my veins. Your shadow's a drug I can't escape. No. The way you look, it fills the sky, fills my head, and I do not know why. No. 'Cause I was ready to leave the flame, let the embers fade to black, but your eyes called out my name and the years came rushing back. And I was ready to break these chains, now you ghost away from my soul. You're the crack in my control, and I'm spinning in the undertow, lost in the pull of you. Cause I'm falling in the pull of you. From those blue eyes, you said dream come true. And I'm falling in the pull of you. Yeah, miss your sweet side and the love I knew. I'm lost in the pull of you. I'm lost in the pull of you. I'm lost in the pull of you. Thank you very much. That one was called Pull of You. Just want to point out that we are actually a guitar member short tonight, so there's only 4 of us, usually there's 5. I was going to say rest in peace, but he's not dead. So this next one is called By Your Side, and I hope you like it.